Welcome to episode 2 of the Longbox Paradox. I'm Dan, and today we're going to talk about a new release from Image Comics called Die. Number 1 just came out this past week by Kieron Gillen and Stephanie Hans, and I am a huge fan after issue 1. The book, for the most part, if you ever remember the 80s series of Dungeons and Dragons, that was a cartoon with the characters getting sucked into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. In the back of the book, Kieron Gillen says that this was like the spiritual beginning of this story and trying to figure out what happened to those characters. I dig it. I dig the premise. I could totally see this becoming a Netflix series. I just finished reading issue 1. It is a great book. I recommend you go out and buy it. It has already sold out at distributor level, and it's going to a second print in January. There are a couple of exclusives out there and variants. If you're speccing them, I don't recommend them. They usually do not hold value. I would rather buy the original A or B cover, and this is one I recommend going out and grading. It easily could become a Netflix series. It starts out with your main protagonist. His name is Dominic, or Ash. He has his sister with him, and he's talking about what happened that night and goes back in time to 27 years ago. So his friend Solomon's having a party. They share a birthday. He created this role-playing game because they're role-playing snobs, and in it they all draw up their characters. There's Isabel and a couple of others. The names are eluding me right now because it's fairly fresh in my mind, but not super fresh. So as they're there, they write up their characters, and they say what the characters will be, and Solomon gives them each a die. And as it gets to the very end, he gets the 20-sided die, and he's called the Master. So they say they're correcting each other on dice being, if they're singular, being called die. As they do that, it flashes to black in a flash, and they're gone. Solomon's mother comes up, they're gone. And then it cuts to 2 years later where they appear in the road, but there's only 5 of them. Solomon is gone. And Dominic's sister, Angela, is missing an arm. And from there, it cuts ahead 25 years where it's Dominic's birthday again, and Solomon's mother comes up wanting to know where he is, where his body is, so she can bury him. All of them can't talk about it. So later on, Dominic meets up with his sister Angela at a bar, and a package is delivered saying happy birthday. He opens it. It's a blood-soaked 20 die. It's the 20-sided die. So he freaks out, and he gets the group back together where they start discussing, and then we find out that in the other world he had made a curse, so to say, that they can't talk about it without feeling shit on their tongues. So they say the word die, and the 20-sided die activates. They end up in the other world, where they find Solomon, who is now saying that he killed the Grandmaster and now has his die, and he implants the 20-sided die in his eye, and then it cuts to the end. I love this. I'm just, the whole story of it fascinates me, and I think people who like Jumanji are going to end up liking this book. I can't recommend it enough right now, and the art is fantastic, and Kieron Gillen, from Wicked and Divine, everything else, I've loved his writing, so I'm really digging it. So definitely I would spec on this, not heavy, just if you're going to grade it. I also want to recommend for people specking right now, another month Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers is relaunching, and there is a Stanley Lau Art Germ variant coming out. I'm not sure what the ratio is, but from what I saw of the cover art that he's leaked on Twitter, definitely worth checking out, chasing, grading, because there's a lot of fanatics. There's money to be made on that. And for all you people who have boxes of comics with stuff stashed over the years, the new Avengers 4 trailer dropped, and they show Hawkeye back dressed as Ronin. So New Avengers issues 4 and 11, super hot right now. They're going for 25 to 30. Also, Amazing Fantasy #1 with Anya Corazon as the Spider-Girl in that first appearance. Early Mark Brooks art is also starting to climb randomly out of nowhere. Also, The Infinite Crisis Blue Beetle first appearances. That's the movie, starting to fly. And as a long-term spec that you could pick up, not going to be cheap, but I think it has potential that has not hit, is Lock and Key. The early series, there is the TV series coming out on, I forget which streaming service right now, but definitely something, don't sleep on it. There is an option. There's money to be made eventually. And also, they're damn good books. Anyway, I'd like to thank you for your time. Thank you for viewing. Comment, subscribe. And I just want to thank you again. Have a good night and farewell.